Hola y bienvenidos. Hoy te traemos una técnica diferente para aprender inglés que te ayudará a mejorar más rápido de lo que imaginas. Este método cambiará tu forma de estudiar. Si te gusta lo que ves, no olvides suscribirte, darle like y dejarnos un comentario. Vamos allá.
Once upon a time, in a faraway forest, there was a lamb who lived with his family in a green, sunny meadow. This lamb was special. Not because he was bigger or stronger than the others, but because he had something that no one else in the forest had, a brave heart. Every day, the lamb explored the forest, discovering new corners and chatting with the flowers and trees. But, there was a shadow that always stalked him. It was the shadow of the wolf, a wolf feared by all the animals in the forest. The other lambs told the brave lamb that he should be careful, that he should not venture too far. But the lamb, with his heart full of courage, never let fear stop him. One afternoon, as the lamb was walking near a stream, he felt someone watching him. He turned his head and there was the wolf, his eyes shining with a mixture of hunger and curiosity. Any other lamb would have run away, but not this lamb. "Why don't you run away?" asked the wolf, surprised. The lamb looked him in the eyes and said, "Because I'm not afraid. I know you're strong, but I have something you don't have." The wolf raised an eyebrow. "And what is that?" "Courage," the lamb replied firmly. "And with courage, no matter how big you are, I can always find a way to get through." The wolf, taken aback by the lamb's response, took a step back. He had never before met a lamb who didn't fear for its life. Something in those words resonated with the wolf, something he hadn't felt in a long time: respect. "You're different," the wolf said, finally. "I've never before seen someone so small and so brave." The lamb smiled. "Courage is not measured by size or strength, but by what you carry inside. You too can be brave, if you choose not to use your strength to scare others." The wolf, thoughtful, walked away from the lamb and disappeared into the forest. That night, the lamb returned to the meadow and told the other lambs what had happened. No one could believe that the wolf had decided to leave without harming him. But the lamb knew that he had achieved more than just saving himself. He had planted a seed of change in the wolf's heart. Over time, the wolf was no longer feared in the forest. He no longer chased animals or frightened children. Now, he walked through the forest, looking for the same courage he had seen in that lamb. And so, the wolf and the lamb became friends, showing everyone in the forest that true strength is not in power, but in courage and the ability to change. And so the story continues, because in that forest, there are always more adventures to live and more lessons to learn. Every day, the brave lamb continues to explore, and the wolf, now his friend, accompanies him. Together they discover new secrets of the forest, showing everyone that with courage and friendship, any challenge can be overcome. And so, a new day dawned in the forest. The lamb and the wolf, now inseparable, prepared for a new adventure. That morning, as they walked together, they heard a whisper in the wind. It was a strange sound, like a distant song coming from deep within the forest. Intrigued, they decided to follow it. As they moved forward, the forest grew denser, the shadows lengthened, and the air filled with mystery. The song grew louder, and they soon realized that they were not alone. All around them, the trees seemed to come to life, their branches moving as if they were greeting or, perhaps, warning. The wolf, although now calmer and wiser, could not help but feel a slight fear. But the lamb, with his usual bravery, looked at him and said, "Do not be afraid, friend. Together, we can face anything." Finally, they came to a clearing in the heart of the forest. There, in the middle of a circle of ancient trees, they found an old turtle. Her shell was as old and large as a rock, and in her eyes shone the wisdom of 1,000 years. She was the source of the song. "Welcome, young travelers," said the turtle in a soft but deep voice. "I have been waiting for you." The lamb, ever curious, asked, "Why were you waiting for us? Who are you?" The turtle smiled tenderly. "I am the guardian of the forest of echoes, a place where stories are not only told, but brought to life. I have seen many things in my years, but few have the courage to venture into this place. You too have proven to be different, and so I have called you." The wolf, intrigued, asked, "What do you need from us?" The turtle looked at them both seriously. "The forest of echoes is in danger. There is a shadow spreading from the north, a dark force that threatens to extinguish the stories and silence the song of the forest. I need you to find the source of light, the only power capable of stopping the darkness." The lamb and the wolf exchanged glances. They knew that this mission would not be easy, but they also knew that together, they were stronger. "We accept," they said in unison. The turtle nodded, satisfied. "The road will be long and full of challenges, but always remember this: true light does not come from outside, but from within. Follow your heart, and you will find the strength you need." And so, with a new purpose, the brave lamb and his wolf friend set out on their journey north. As they went, the forest became darker and more mysterious, but the friendship between them shone like a beacon in the night. Each step they took brought them closer to the fountain of light, and as they did, the forest revealed its secrets to them. They met animals who told them their stories, some sad, some happy, but all full of lessons. Each encounter strengthened their resolve and reminded them why they had undertaken this journey. And so the story continues, because the road to the fountain of light is long and full of surprises. But one thing is certain: as long as there is courage in the heart and friendship in the soul, no shadow can extinguish the light of a story that lives on, a story that will never end. And you, dear reader, are part of this adventure, a silent companion who travels with them, learning and growing with each step they take. Are you ready to move forward? Because at the next turn in the road, new wonders and challenges await. And together, there is nothing you cannot face. With each step they took north, the lamb and the wolf noticed how the air grew colder, and the sunlight barely penetrated the intertwined branches of the forest. But far from being discouraged, they felt something inside them shine more brightly. They knew they were closer to the source of light, but also to the darkness that tried to stop them. One night, as they rested beside a small fire that the wolf had lit, a mysterious figure appeared before them. It was an owl with gray feathers, with eyes as large and deep as the night sky. Its wings, although worn by time, spread out with a majesty that commanded respect. "I am the guardian of dreams," said the owl in a voice that seemed to come from a distant and ancient place. "I have seen your journey and the challenges you have faced. But now, I must warn you, the darkness you seek to overcome is stronger than you imagine." The lamb, with his usual bravery, approached the owl. "No matter how strong the darkness is, we are determined to find the source of light and protect this forest." The owl bowed his head, acknowledging the lamb's courage. "Courage is powerful, but you must know that darkness doesn't just exist outside. It also lives inside each of us, feeding on our fears and doubts. If you want to succeed, you'll have to face your own demons." The wolf, pondering the owl's words, asked, "How can we defeat something that lives inside us?" The dream keeper spread his wings, and a gentle breeze began to blow. "The key is to accept that darkness, not as an enemy, but as a part of who you are. Only when you accept your fears can you transform them into strength." That night, as the wolf and the lamb slept, they had strange dreams. In his dream, the wolf saw himself in a dark night, surrounded by the shadows of all those he had once frightened. He felt the weight of his past actions, the guilt and fear he had always hidden behind his fierce appearance. But then, he remembered the lamb's words about bravery. At that moment, he decided to face those shadows, asking for forgiveness and offering his new friendship. The shadows, surprised, vanished, leaving the wolf with a feeling of peace he had never experienced before. The lamb, for his part, dreamed that he was lost in a vast field of fog, unable to find his way back. He felt a deep loneliness, a fear he had never known. But then, he remembered that he was not alone. In his heart, he felt the presence of the wolf, his faithful friend, and that gave him the strength to go through the fog, finding a bright path that led him back to the forest. When they awoke, they both knew they had changed. The darkness within them no longer frightened them. They had accepted it and transformed it into a new source of power. With renewed determination, they continued their journey. The forest seemed less threatening now, though the shadow from the north continued to grow. But instead of fearing it, they faced it with the light that shone in their hearts. Finally, after days of walking and facing new challenges, they reached the top of a snow-covered mountain. There, in the center of a large circle of ancient stones, they found the Fountain of Light. It was not a fountain as they imagined, with sparkling water or a shining sun. It was a simple crystal, small and unassuming, emitting a soft glow. The wolf and the lamb looked at each other, knowing what they must do. They both placed their paws on the crystal, and in that moment, they felt a deep connection with the forest, with every tree, every leaf, every creature that lived there. The light from the crystal began to grow, illuminating the mountain and dispelling the shadow that loomed over them. The darkness tried to resist, but the strength of friendship, courage, and acceptance that the wolf and the lamb had learned was too powerful. The shadow finally faded, and the forest regained its peace. The guardian of dreams appeared once more. You have done what many believed impossible. You have restored the balance of the forest, and in the process, you have discovered the true nature of light and darkness. The lamb and the wolf, tired but victorious, smiled. They knew that their adventure did not end there. The forest still had many secrets to discover, and many more stories to tell. And as long as they continued together, there was nothing they could not face. So, once again, they set out on the road back, knowing that each day would bring new adventures, new challenges, and more opportunities to prove that true light always shines brighter when shared.
Y con eso terminamos. Si te gustó este vídeo, asegúrate de suscribirte al canal. Además, te invitamos a ver el siguiente vídeo que te dejamos por aquí, para seguir mejorando tu nivel de inglés a base de práctica y repetición. Nos vemos allí.